Good evening. Today's daf is daf Samach Tes. We are going to begin on the top line, Samach Tes. The Gemara for the last while has been speaking about different remedies. If somebody is sick, somebody has a headache, and now the Gemara is going to continue speaking about this topic. So the Gemara, Livrukte, if somebody has an eye disease, Laisi Akav Lishav Chumne, Onayabshe Betula. Let him bring a body of a seven-colored scorpion and dry it in the shade. Grind it together, dry it out in the shade, grind it together, 2 portions of this shtubim, and let him. So he should bring 2 portions of the shtubim and 1 portion of dried scorpion. Let him place 3 eye brushes full in his eye and 3 eye brushes full in the other eye. However, but he should not place more, because if he does place more, then his eye will burst. So the Gemara as a remedy for somebody who has night blindness, somebody who has night blindness, he should bring a robe of animal here, and he should tie one of his legs, and one of his legs to a dog. And to let children throw pottery shards behind him, and let them say to him, the dog is old and the rooster is foolish. Let him take 7 pieces of raw meat from 7 houses, and let him leave them from him. Let him leave them from him in the socket of the door, and let them eat them in the junkyard of the city. Afterwards, the fleni bar pleniso, and afterwards, he should untie the rope of here and say as follows: the blindness of so and so, so and so, and so and so, leave so and so, so and so, and so and so, and then say, let them blow into the dog's eye. The shavridi the mama, if somebody has a day blindness, so what's the remedy? He has an inability to see clearly in the bright light. So what should he do? Let him bring 7 animal spleens and let the patient roast them on the pottery shard of a bloodletter. And let the now, what should he do? Afterwards, he should let the patient sit on the side of the house and let another person sit on the side and let the patient say to himself, blind man, give me something to eat. And let the other one say to the patient, seeing man, take them to eat. And after the patient eats, let them break the shard. And if not, the blindness will follow him. As a remedy of a nosebleed, let him bring a patient. Let the patient bring a man named Levi, who is a kohen. And let the man write the patient. Let the man should write for the patient the name Levi backwards. And if you can't do that, you should bring a regular person. And what he should write is, I am Papi Shela Bar Sumoki, and the man should also write this backwards. And if he's not able to do this, then let that man write for the patient like this: Tam Dali Bimei Kesef, Tam Dali Bimei Pegom. Taste from a bucket in silver water, taste from a bucket in tainted water. And if the patient is not able to do so, let him bring the root of a fodder rope from an old bed and paper and a saffron, the red portion of a palm branch. And what should he do with that? And let them burn them with each other. The patient bring fleece of wool and spin it into 2 strings, and let them soak them in vinegar. And you should roll them in the ash of the burnt materials and place them in his nostrils. And like the Mefarshim said, that these remedies are not to be taken literally nowadays. It's just in the times of the Gemara. Nowadays, I guess, don't try this at home. Now, if the patient is not able to do so, so what should he do? If he's not able to do so, let him look at a stream of water flowing from east towards the west, and let him spread his legs and stand with 1 foot on his on this side and 1 foot on the other side. And and let him take clay with his left hand from under his right hand. So what should you do? You should let him take clay in his right hand from under his left hand, and then let him take clay with his left hand from under his right hand, and let him spin 2 strings of wool, soak them in clay, and place them in his nostrils. If the patient is not able to do so, let him sit under the gutter, and let them bring water and pour it on him, and let him say, just as the water has stopped, that the blood of so-and-so, son of so, also stopped. If somebody has blood that comes from the mouth, what should he do? We check the patient with straw of wheat. If the blood sticks to the straw, then so if the blood sticks to the straw, then it's from his lungs and it has a remedy. And if not, so then the pashtus comes from the liver, and unfortunately, this person has no remedy. Now the Gemara asks, some of the Rabbi Rabashi, so Rabbi tells Rabashi, but we learned in the Mishnah, fakert, now the din is, if a liver was completely removed and none of it remains, then it's considered to be an animal with a condition that will cause it to die within 12 months. So it's called a treifa. But in the case of the lung that is punctured or missing, the animal is considered to be a treifa, even if it has not been completely removed. So what do we see from here? That the damage to the lung is more serious than the damage to the liver. And from before we said that the liver is fakert. So the Gemara answers and says, Armalei, Rashi said to him, since the blood comes out from the person's mouth, one must say that the liver has dissolved and he will not survive. The master said, if the blood comes from the lungs, then it has a remedy. Asks the Gemara, what is the remedy? So the Gemara says, the tabla. So what should he do? Let him bring 7 fistfuls of sliced beets, 7 fistfuls of sliced leek, 5 fistfuls of grass, 3 fistfuls of lentils, and a fistful of cumin, and a fistful of ropes, and corresponding amount of the intestines of a firstborn animal. And let him cook it all together and let him eat it. And let him eat everything, and afterwards let him drink good, strong beer. Okay, now the Gemara says the kacho with regards to the remedy of one's teeth. Rabbi Huna says, let him bring an individual garlic that grew as a single clove, and let him grind it with oil and salt, and let him place it in the thumbnail of the side that hurts him, and let him surround him with a rim of dough. And you should take care that it does not touch his flesh, because it's harmful and it can cause boils. In regards to somebody who has issues with gums, so what's the remedy? Rabbi says, Chumsi, the Spanish, Chumsi, Kimamru. So this Spanish plant is like mamru plant. Ikori de chumsi, and the root of the Spanish is odif mi maru, is preferable than maru, and v'nin king bipumyi. Let him take it in his mouth. Hani leokmei, and this is meant to stabilize the illness that does not intensify. Levashule, to boil them, meaning to cause the wounds to open so that the pus can be removed from them. What should he do? Laisi porderesh nifio utlofche bafrayu ushi velilta v'chumarta kudekshrusta v'nikta kogmuze bepumya. So what should he do? So you should boil them, meaning let him bring the bran found in the upper portion of the sifter and lentils in the dirt, and this Greek stuff in the flour, the hot plant. Let him take an amount about the size of the nut in his mouth. Now, in order to open the blisters, to remove the pus, let his friend blow white cress into his mouth with a straw of wheat. And if he wishes to heal the blisters, let him bring dirt found in the shade of the bathroom, and knead it with honey and eat it. And this is effective at curing the blisters. The farsam for somebody who has like an infection in his bronchitis, like a bronchial lacy, let him bring a nut-sized amount of ammonia water, and a nut-sized amount of sweet galbanum, and and a large spoonful of white honey, a vessel from mechiza. In other words, one that holds a quarter lug of liquid. And it should be full of wine, and let them boil them together. And once this ammonia is cooked, everything will have cooked. And if he's not able to do this, then they bring a quarter lug of milk from a white goat, and let him drip in 3 stalks of cabbage, and stir with a spring from the type of bush. And when the sprig of this bush is boiled, so then all of it will boil. And if not, if he's not able to do so, let him bring the feces of white dogs, and let him mix it with balm. As much as is possible, let them eat the feces, because it causes the separation of the limbs. Now, the Gita, with regard to the remedy of stringing pain, Lacy Gita de Lilisa, let him bring a stone called an arrow of Lilith, and let him turn it upside down, and let him turn it upside down, let him pour the water and drink it. If he's not able to do this, so let him bring water from which dog drink at night. And he's there, let him be careful about leaving the water uncovered at night. A remedy for drinking uncovered water is so drink a quarter lug of undiluted wine. The more so remedy for pus-filled wound, one should drink a quarter lug of wine, steeped in red ice plant. The pircha de liba is a remedy for this. His heart is weak. Let him bring 3 loaves of barley and soak them in kamka, from which 40 days have not passed since they being made, and eat it. And let him eat the loaves and drink the diluted wine after consuming them. So he says to him, this will even make his heart even more weak. So I'm referring to the heaviness of the heart. In other words, I said this as a remedy for the heaviness of the heart. The fircha de liba, somebody who has heaviness, like somebody who has a weak heart, they said, so what should he do is let him bring 3 loaves of wheat, soak them in honey, and eat them. Let him drink undiluted wine after them. Tzarcha de liba, as a remedy for heart pain, let him bring 3 egg bulks of mint, base at the kamena, an egg bulk of this kumin, bear the shimshina velechel, and an egg bulk of sesame seeds, and let them eat them together. Chayiv maya as a remedy for pain of intestines. Let him bring 300 long peppers, and every day let him drink 100 of them with wine. Mara says, Ravan of the city of Neresh prepared 150 these Babylonian peppers for the daughter of Rashi who had this illness, and the Gemara says she was healed. The kirtz of somebody has like this pinworm, anpo the chamra batar for the aro. You should drink a quarter lug of wine steeped with these type of leaves. The kirtz of chivara as a remedy for white worm, laise bizra galgala v'nitzde b'shistag b'naisde b'maya v'nishte. Let him bring caress and tie it with a piece of woven cloth. Let him soak in the water and drink it. And let him be careful with the seed. And if he was not careful enough, then there's this danger will grow inside him and puncture his intestines. The Mesar, what's the remedy of to bind somebody has, let's say, diarrhea? So you should consume this seasoned plant when it's wet with water. A remedy to relax the bowels is to drink this dry thing soaked in water, which is like a laxative. Simanach, what's the siman? Itza ativda, the sachar nahara, wet grass that is used to dam rivers. Now, the litchala as a remedy for illness of the spleen, leisa shabina demayo nebaishta betula, that it brings 7 leeches and dry them in the shade. And every day drink 2 or 3 of them with wine. And if he's not able to do so, let him bring the spleen of a female goat that has not given birth. And he should say, again, let him bring the spleen of female goat that has not given birth and place it in the oven and stand across from it, and let him say, just as the spleen is dry, so shall the spleen of so-and-so be dried. If he's not able to do so, then let him place the goat spleen between the bricks of a new house. Let him say that the same statement. And if not, let him search for someone who died on Shabbos, and let him place let him search for someone who died on Shabbos. Let him take the hand of the person who died and let him place in the spleen and say, should say, just as the hand of so-and-so was dried, so that the spleen of so-and-so, the so-and-so, should be dried. If he's not able to do so, let him take a fish and roast it in the house of a blacksmith. And let him eat it with the water of the blacksmith. And let him eat it with the water from the blacksmith's house. There was a certain goat that drank water from the blacksmith's house, and ishtachit, when they shechted it, they could not find the spleen in the goat. If he's not able to do so, let him open a barrel of wine for the sake. In other words, let him drink a large barrel of wine. And Ravashi said, the son of Rava said to Ravashi, if the barrel of wine, if he has a barrel of wine, he will not come before my masters for a remedy, as the wine will already have healed him. Rather, what should he do to maintain his health? Let him be accustomed to eat bread in the morning, and the ma'ala kula gufa, because bread benefits the entire body. The rushchasa, what's the remedy of hemorrhoids? Laisi akika bilvei v'aspircha umartacha v'chumarta depilin shiafa dechamita v'ninke b'shachki dechkinta b'kaite So if he has hemorrhoids, let him bring this type of acacia and aloe and mercury and silver dross and bundle of fragrant herbs and feces of pigeons, and let him take the linen bags in the summer or cotton bags in the winter and place them on the afflicted area. And if he's not able to do so, let him bring diluted beer. Somebody has the shigroino, lysi, pasi, let him bring a vessel full of bran from small fish, venigad shitin zimne aha matchaya, shitin zimna aha matchaya, and roll it 60 times on this side, 60 times on the other side. It's mirta, remedy for a bladder stone. Nesitlos nutfiosa mishcha de kufra. Let him bring 3 drops of tar oil. Utlas nutfiosa yisrael de karva, and 3 drops from the squeezing of leeks. Utlas nutfiosa de chamra nikida, and 3 drops of clean wine. Let him place this mixture for the man on his aver. And for a woman in that place. If he's not able to do so, let him bring the ear. In other words, a handle of at least of wine sack and suspended, put it by the amma, and by the woman's breast. If not, if he's not able to do so, let him bring crimson strung spun by a woman suspected of znus, who's the daughter of a person who's suspected of znus, and suspended for a man who has an aver, and for a woman for the man from his aver, and for the woman from her daughter. If he's not, let him bring a louse from a male and a louse from a female and suspend it from a man from his aver, and from a woman from that place. And when he goes to urinate, let him urinate on a dry branch by the doorpost. Let him examine the bladder stone that comes out of him with his urine, as it is effective as a remedy for the illness accompanied by a fever, if he grinds it and uses it. It's a remedy for an external fever. 3 saw let him bring 3 saw of date pits and 3 saw of leaves from eder tree. And let him cook each one together. Let him place them in 2 basins and bring table and place it over, and let him stand up from over this basin and sit over this basin, and let them stand over this basin and sit over this basin until the heat arises. So let him wash from the water of both basins. When he drinks, let him drink from the basin containing the ether water, but do not let him drink from the basin containing the date water, because it causes infertility. Let's smear the gavna as a remedy for internal fever. Let him bring 7 handfuls of beet leaves from 7 furrows. Let him cook them together with the dirt and the nechal eat them. Let him drink from 8 leaves mixed with beer, or even a talas mimer, or grapes grown from pressing the vine of a palm tree soaked in water. Tomorrow we will continue all the great remedies of Chazal. Have a good night.